Hello, welcome to the series for solving equations with absolute values. When we first start looking at solving equations with absolute values, the first thing we have to look at is a couple of rules. And in some situations, well, in every situation, we want to get to the point where we have the absolute value of A is equal to B. When we get here, we need to check a couple of things. Is B greater than or equal to 0? That's what we need to check. If B is greater than or equal to 0, then we will look at A is equal to B, and we'll look at A being equal to negative B. If B is less than 0, then we have no solutions. Now I know this part is probably kind of confusing, so we'll come back to it in just a second. Let's first look at our first example. It says solve for x. So we want to know what numbers give the absolute value of 6 times x equals 48. So the first thing we have to do is to simplify. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to check if B is greater than or equal to 0, or if B is less than 0. So here I need to simplify 6 times the absolute value of x equals 48. To do that, I need to divide both sides by 6, so we're going to solve this like a regular equation. And this gives me the absolute value of x equals 8. So this wants to know what values of x are 8 spaces from 0. So here we can check B or 8. So since 8 is greater than or equal to 0, our answer is going to be x equals 8 and x equals negative 8. And that's our solution, 8 and negative 8. Let's look at another one. It says solve for u, where the absolute value of u plus 13 equals 21. So here I need to simplify first, so I'm going to look at the absolute value of u plus 13 equals 21, and I want to get the absolute value by itself. That's why I'm simplifying. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides. This gives me the absolute value of u equals 21 minus 13 is 8. So I can check my b. Is b greater than or equal to 0? My b here is 8, so 8 is greater than or equal to 0. So that means I look at u is equal to 8 and u equals negative 8. And that's my solution to that one. Let's look at one last problem. 4 times the absolute value of w equals negative 24. Here I need to simplify 4 times the absolute value of w equals negative 24. And I need to simplify, so I divide by 4. On both sides, divide by 4. I'll get the absolute value of w equals negative 6. Now I need to check whether b is greater than or equal to 0. Is negative 6 greater than or equal to 0? Nope. It is not. So there are no solutions. And in fact, if we want to make this statement not true, we say that negative 6 is not greater than or equal to 0. So make sure we simplify for our absolute value to get that by itself, and then we check to see whether b, the solution, is greater than or equal to 0. Good luck.